Hi, my name is Ashley, and this is my presentation on, sorry, sorry. This is my presentation for my Module 1 assignment. I picked men's mental health awareness. It is a big movement. I understand that. I have my reasons. I'll get into that towards the end. All right. Brief history. In 1994, Bill Clinton signed into effect that we will have a men's mental health month, which will be June. Somehow, somewhere along the way, I looked for a half hour. It changed to Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. I can't find anything written as to why or when that happened, but it did. Some statistics on why Men's Mental Health Month or just men's mental health awareness is important is men are 4 times more likely to die by suicide than women, according to the National Institute of Mental Health. Also, unfortunately, when they seek out mental health, healthcare providers can potentially have some gender bias and their issues are made light of, or they're just not taken seriously in other terms. In 2020, more than 60% of men who died by suicide did seek out mental health, help within 12 months of their death. And one of the largest reasons why men commit suicide is they're critiqued by their ability to contribute economically. And with the changes in jobs going from male dominated to not now, their worth has to be grounded in something else. A statistic that it wasn't a statistic, just a little fact that I found that I thought really brought that to being more of a fact than just a statement is in the 1930s during the Great Depression, we had one of the largest spikes in men and male suicide. And I think that actually speaks volumes to that statement right there. Men no longer had jobs they couldn't provide for their families, and unfortunately, that's the only way that they saw that they could get out. Why would people participate in this movement? They themselves have experienced mental health crises. They know someone who they have a passion for caring for people, for men's mental health specifically. And it provides a sense of community for people that men's mental health has affected. Loneliness is one of the greatest contributing factors to suicide, and community, a sense of belonging, community is a great way to work through that sense of loneliness. Now, sorry. The new social movement theory, how does it apply? Well, according to Flynn, new social movements are movements for change based on the desire for structural reform rather than revolution. They do not attempt to dismantle the existing political and economical systems and are characterized by their self-limiting radicalism. There's coalescences, social media campaigns. You've got a whole entire focus month of June. You've got media coverage in November, which also kind of goes into bureaucratization as well as an official nonprofit. And there's a lot of specific male-related resources. This is still an extremely active movement due to the cultural pushback that men still need to man up, things of that nature. And this movement emphasizes redefining male identity and culture over economic and political grievances, which I mean kind of comes down to the fact that because male are losing a lot of that male dominated field, they don't have to just provide for women anymore. The culture has to change with that. The entire movement is rooted in redefining masculinity and emotional expression, and social identity, not just the healthcare aspect of making sure they go and get themselves checked out. Yeah, so that's how the new social movement theory applies. Now, how does communication play a role in this? It spreads awareness, it changes the stigma, and it gains support. There's legitimacy created through the amount of experts and data that are collected by credible sources. Those things alone are what make this movement extremely credible and can be easily taken a lot more seriously. By the way, there are a lot of resources and experts and a lot of data on this. It's stuff that even I can use, even though I'm not a male. Oh my goodness. This was an incredible thing to look up. Now, the other resources that go into this, There is a government aid because of the nonprofit organization aspect. There's a lot of private funding. There are many sponsors and partners for this event. Not just many, there are big ones. You have Amazon, you have Lamborghini, you have Pringles, you have Nestle. The list goes on. Those are just the four I can remember off the top of my head. They utilize their resources kind of well-ish. I think this movement's only been somewhat successful because it's raised awareness, sure, but the male suicide rates haven't dropped, and the cultural stigma is still strong, if not stronger at this point, unfortunately, because of men like Nick Fuentes. But I think this movement has potential to actually be stronger. I think they need to push out more. They need to do more communicating outside of the month of June and November. They need to be pushing this 12 months a year, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Now, why did I choose this movement? This may go against my entire presentation, but I work with a man baby who informs me at least once a month that June is not Pride Month, it is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Well, here's me focusing on Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, even though he makes sure every day I'm aware of his lack of mental health. Just kidding. I do care. He just irks me with his toxic masculinity and bad behavior. Anyways, the other reason why I picked this was unfortunately because of the events of this past week. I discovered that 95.3% of mass shootings are committed by men. Well, I don't know how to fix things, but I have an inkling that if we were to focus a little bit more on men's health, on men's mental health, maybe we would have a slightly safer community to live in. Things like school shootings wouldn't happen nearly as often, and maybe women would be safer. I can't say for sure, but I have an inkling. What role does communication have on this? A big one. I actually think the men's mental health awareness has lost effectiveness because of Movember. They followed in the footsteps of breast cancer awareness, where they have October. I think events like that just make it fun. They don't actually focus on the problem. It gains the foundations more money, but then what are they doing with that money? If they were truly effective, we'd have a drop in suicide rates, not an increase. And people are yaying it away all the time. I think they need a bigger push in the other 10 months of the year rather than just November, rather than just in June. Let's actually focus on creating a safer and healthy community by focusing on men's health. It truly is a shame that so many people are dying due to the violent crimes of men. Thank you for listening, and